I just realized, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, I truly believe that toxic women, keyword toxic women, not all, have ruined the dating game because you guys so much about fancy dates. Men aren't going to even take you on little things. Example, when you guys are talking to a guy for 2 weeks and he hasn't asked you out, it's probably because if he takes you to a picnic date, you're going to if he takes you to a coffee date, you're going to if he says, hey, you want to tag along? I'm just going to go on a hike. You're going to because it's not extravagant. So when you're wondering why these men aren't courting you and they're not doing the things that they want to, it's because you guys complain about everything they do. Do I believe a guy should talk to you for weeks at a time without planning anything? Hell no. But me personally, this is the reason why I make the content that I do and I speak the way that I do, so that men understand not all women are like that. Some of us want to be courted. Some of us want, coffee dates. I don't give a damn what kind of date it is. As long as I'm with you, we're having a good time, we're laughing, it's a good time. What's wrong with it? Stop expecting extravagant things.
She's not really wrong about anything she's saying, and we all know what the state of dating is like these days. There are women out there who are expecting the world from the man on a first date. So when a guy can't or won't deliver that, they're labeled as cheap and low value. Now, if we're being honest, this is going to be true for some guys, because there are some dudes out there who don't want to put effort into anything. On the flip side of that though, there are plenty of men who'd love to show a woman the world, but they don't want to go above and beyond for a woman until they're more certain about the connection they have with the woman they've just met. The way people meet each other is drastically different from how it was 10 or 20 years ago. And because people are finding each other online before meeting in person, I think simple coffee dates are the way to go, as it'll give you a chance to see how things are with this person in real life, which is often drastically different from whatever experience you've had with them online.
You guys need to stop telling your friends that they deserve better, because sometimes they do not, in fact, deserve better. Sometimes they are getting exactly what they deserve. And you telling them to find someone better, that's just sabotaging them, because baby, this is the best they can do.
This is absolute facts. Sometimes you have to be honest with your friends, and this goes for both men and women. Not everyone is qualified to date the kind of person they think they deserve, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with dating people who are in your league, and a lot of people are able to live perfectly happy lives when they do that. If you gas people up too much, they might end up holding out for someone who'll never come, which could result in them having to live life alone if they leave things for too long.
Don't think enough people talk about how if you're dating someone who has no social media, it's weird. As someone who once thought it was really cool and kind of attractive when the guy I was dating didn't have any social media, I'm here to tell you it's not cool or attractive. Because to not have social media means to be disconnected from culture. It means to be disconnected from very current conversations. And this person who doesn't have any social media is also likely to be someone who thinks they're above social media.
This is the exact sort of thing you expect to hear from someone who thinks that social media is the most important thing in the world. There are people who live their entire lives online, and they take on these personas or personalities that aren't even a real representation of them at all. Just because you're not on social media, it doesn't mean you're disconnected from culture. And oftentimes, a lot of what you're fed on social media is because of an algorithm showing you the type of content it thinks you'll like, which in itself results in you not actually being in the know of what's actually happening around you. Rather than spending their lives living through a screen, maybe they want to enjoy life for what it really is. Not everyone wants to limit themselves to only having online relationships, or that being the way they stay connected to the people who are closest to them.
There's this air of arrogance. There's this illusion that they're more in touch with themselves if they don't have it. And I guarantee you that person who has no social media is going to be patronizing. When you talk about social media, when you talk about what you learned from a TikTok, they're going to be condescending. I think it's much more of a red flag than a green flag. Also, what are you hiding? Why don't you have social media? Even just like a vague presence is better than no presence. I'm not saying this person needs to be active, chronically online like you are, but to just have zero social media, you're hiding something, you're out of touch with reality and culture, and you think you're better than everyone else.
To be honest with you, she's thinking way too much into this. I don't get why people like this don't understand that not everyone values the things that they do. Not everyone wants to have their business out there for everyone to comment and speculate on. Some people just want to do their thing and keep it moving. So what's arrogant about that? I'd love to know who she's been talking to that's made her feel this way. I mean, I don't want to have to use that whole "who hurt you" thing, but it's kinda hard not to in this case.
I don't know what man needs to know and understand this, but the number one way to know if a woman likes you is whether or not she has rules for you. Because I promise you, if she likes you, there are no rules. Even down to her boundaries and all of these laundry lists of expectations that she supposedly has. For a man that she really likes, all of that crap goes out the window. Our common sense goes out the window. We just do whatever, say whatever. We're all in all of the time, immediately. We don't think about red flags. We don't think about any of that because when we like you, we don't have to have all these rules and expectations and standards and all this crap. The only time a woman sets standards and all these supposed boundaries is when she doesn't like you. Because then she can use those boundaries and those standards that are all fake as an excuse not to date you and not want to be with you and not want to do all of these things.
While this isn't going to be true 100% of the time, what she's saying is facts and something I'm sure that you guys have experienced at some point before. I know I have. I've seen girls do the most for guys they're really into, but when it comes to their partners or that guy they feel like they might want to settle down with, all of a sudden there are all these things that she's not interested in doing. While it's good to listen to what someone's telling you about how they feel and all that, you'll be much better off if you pay attention to someone's actions rather than their words.
It's all women will say whatever to make you think that she has, all of these standards and she's not going to give it up and she's not going to be easy. But the minute that she likes you, you don't got to do. She's going to come to you. She's going to text you. She's going to cook for you. She's going to sleep with you. She's going to want to touch you. She's going to want to be affectionate. You could be in the same room playing video games for 6 hours and she's going to sit there on her phone just being in your presence because there are no rules. And that's what ends up happening.
I remember back in college, there was a girl who was pretty much giving it up to everyone, but there was only one guy she was willing to give that sloppy top. And for everyone else, she'd say she isn't into that sort of thing and has no interest in doing it, but the guys knew better. Now, this might sound like a bit of a silly college story, and it is, but even as a grown-ass adult, I've seen this sort of thing continue to happen. And in a few cases I can think of, it's been kind of extreme the lengths people were willing to go to for that dude who really got their blood pumping.
The moment that she doesn't feel the same way because her opinions are based off her feelings and the way she feels about you only lasts so long up until the honeymoon stage, then all these rules come into play. All of a sudden she's bitching about you playing video games or she's bitching about you staying out all night, even though when she first got with you, you were doing all the same things. Those standards and expectations change based off of her mood. Hope this helps. Okay, bye.
I'm not too sure about this last bit, because relationships do naturally change over time. But if someone has a particular hobby or interest when you got with them, you shouldn't expect them to drop it later on because it makes you feel a certain way. And this goes for if you're the one who has an interest in something, unless that interest is really impacting your quality of life or preventing you from reaching any milestones. You shouldn't give up the things you love. This whole thing sort of reminds me about the guy who divorced his wife because of Yu-Gi-Oh! His wife knew that he was into that game when they got together, so if she agreed to be with him then, she shouldn't be complaining about it later, and least of all, giving him an ultimatum about the whole thing.
Every time I have interactions with men, I am just more and more appalled and disgusted by men and the behavior of men towards women. Like dating in my early 20s, men actually had respect for women, relatively. You at least felt like a human being around them. You at least felt like they saw you as a human and not just an object. But the increase in all of these red pill podcasts and women hating behavior on the internet has literally poisoned the minds of men.
It sounds like to me, she was happy when men were falling at the feet of women, but now that guys are starting to see things for how they really are, she's not too happy about it. While there are some angry dudes out there who are taking out their frustrations on women online, I doubt that's the case for the majority who aren't chronically online. For most guys, the red pill has just made them more aware about the reality of dating, and all they've done is decided to stand up for themselves and not just give women the world because they say they deserve it. Now, I'd love to hear some examples of guys who've treated her like an object, and when she does that, I'd be happy to share examples of how men are often treated like ATMs.
And it was to the point that I just stopped dating entirely for the last 6 months or so. I've been trying to give dating a chance again lately. I've even been like trying to date guys who are not, my typical type. But yeah, even dating guys who are not my typical type has not fixed the issue. In fact, actually, it's worse. What the is a girl to do? Give up? I always have dated guys who were like 10, 15 years older than me because I've been dating guys around my age lately, and that girl, no.
Dating guys who aren't her type is gonna be a sucky experience for everyone. I mean, earlier on in this video, we talked about how girls will set up rules and barriers for men they're not all that excited about. Towards the end, she happened to mention that she often dated guys who are 10 to 15 years older than she is, and I wonder why that's the case. Do you think it has anything to do with their status or resources? If her dating life has been such a train wreck, she needs to take a step back and really consider what's going wrong. Is she attracted to men who are unavailable? Is she expecting the world to be given to her without having to put in much effort herself? Are her standards too high? When I see people having endless problems like this, and not just in the world of dating, I can't help but think that there's something they're doing or not doing that's contributing to their current situation. After watching a video like this, I always have to see what people are talking about in the comments, so let's check it out.
Woman-hating content. Also, her making a video about hating men. You get what you give out. Just saying.
I never said I hate men. I certainly don't. I expressed my frustration with the way men date nowadays. I wouldn't be making this if it weren't for that. Thank you for proving my point.
What's funny is, you are literally doing the same thing you described as being a problem for men. You just openly expressed your hatred towards men and displayed men-hating behavior as something that's okay.
For every guy like you're describing, there are 9 normal guys who you would pass by in the grocery store without glancing twice at. Those are the guys that would treat you well.
Anyway, guys, what do you think about all this? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to show the channel some love.